For Victims and Villains, my name is Josh.
And I'm Gwen Stacy.
And today we're talking about Spider-Man.
Brand new day.
So Brand New Day picks up 4 years after the events of Spider-Man No Way Home, as Peter Parker is now full-time Spider-Man and facing off against old foes, both physical, emotional, and mental, all within this 2.5 hour time span.
First impressions on this, I enjoyed it. It was a little bit of a mess, lots of twists and turns. I definitely have my favorite characters, which I'll get into later. But overall, it was a solid Spider-Man movie.
So I do agree with you. I think this movie is a little bit over-bloated in certain parts of it. But I think this film's a lot of fun. The comedy didn't land for me quite as well as some of the earlier Tom Holland Spider-Man movies. The action is really well-paced. And just overall, I think this is a great action movie. But this is a little bit more of a dramatic tone to it. This is definitely a much more mature Spider-Man, this evolution of the character, but I think also kind of evolving it to have this more mature tone, I think really worked in its favor.
Yeah, let's talk about evolutions. We get a new suit. And I love the new suit. It's so much more down to earth. It's so much more like your typical classic DIY Spider-Man. But while there's simplicity in the suit, there's amazing tech. Like, the tech in this movie is just mind-blowing. We're very into any of the Stark Industry builds early on. Some of these techs are going to be really, really cool, and really, really unique for kind of setting the tone of the movie.
I definitely think the suit in this is very much classic of Spider-Man. It does definitely feel like it hits a lot of that earlier 60s Spider-Man.
You brought up Tom Holland, which, yes, everyone loves him as Spider-Man. I do think that people are going to be very surprised by someone who I was blown away with the casting. I was blown away by their character. But Sadie Sink, her character is incredible. The backstory we get is incredible. The performance was something I have never ever seen her character anything I've ever seen her in.
I slightly disagree with you on Sadie Sink. I thought she was fine. I just kind of thought she was really underutilized, and I think that's a Marvel problem, not necessarily a Spider-Man problem. And I think that's kind of the larger problem that I have with this movie is how it utilizes its characters.
Yeah.
When we talk about it being a mess, I think it's a mess mostly because it's trying to cater to the fan service and remind you of the universe that this is in.
Yeah.
I will say the one exception is the John Barathal's the Punisher here. I loved the chemistry between their dynamic throughout the course of this. It really helped this film stay grounded. I think they were probably my favorite part of the movie. They're back and forth.
Yeah, Frank is definitely probably my new favorite MCU character. I will say there is a chemistry that I wished was a little more developed, but Peter Parker and Ned, and obviously MJ, I do kind of wish all of the relationships were a little more developed. I think it's really powerful to, come off of No Way Home, and in Brand New Day, we're seeing Spider-Man handle a world where no one knows who Peter Parker is, and struggling with that while seeing his friends move on with their lives. I do wish they had more interactions.
I think for me, it just speaks again to the busyness of this film. Mm-hmm. You look at that the original trilogy, the emotional heartbeats of that is that trio. I think a lot of the problems that is being pretty much universally agreed upon is the fact that Phase 4 and Phase 5 of the MCU were really messy. Marvel really expanded itself, just stretched itself too thin between television and the films. And I feel like they kind of do that narratively here. Like there are MCU characters that we do get brought up that we have talked about. Black Widow's in this, Hulk's in this, and obviously the Punisher we've kind of talked about. But I think it's the way that they really underutilize both of those.
I kind of disagree with you a little bit of the Hulk. Is he in very many scenes? No. But it's like 2.5. But
I rest my case.
Are all of the scenes that he's in extremely meaningful and extremely important to the plot of the story? Yes. No. 100% yes. Every little part of it.
That is absolutely fine to disagree. I think another thing here is the pacing.
Yeah.
I think some of it is really messy. I think this film kind of spends too much on certain aspects of the character and then tries to remind you at the same time, hey, this is an MCU film, and then at the same time kind of also has those moments where this film just feels really slow or other just kind of feel really rushed.
But it did. There were moments where it was very slow.
And I think with that, it's time to run this one through our Rorschach rating scale. So for this one, and instead of just rating it, giving it a rating, we're going to do ratings, but how many potatoes will you rate this one? We'll find out if it's small potatoes or big potatoes.
It could be meager potatoes.
Yeah, it could be, yeah. And then when you see the movie, you'll understand the potato reference, but I'll let you go first.
For me, it's going to be 3.5 potatoes. It's a meager. It didn't hit the mark. Humor didn't land for me. Like you mentioned, it didn't land for you. It really did not land for me. And the fact that I enjoyed watching The Punisher more than Spider-Man, it kind of felt wrong to me. But like I will say, the saving grace, Sadie Sink. That's not to say Tom Holland didn't do a great job. I think the choreography is phenomenal. I think that, going back to basics on the suit, but having the upgraded tech is overall a really cool kind of contrast to what we see in the normal movies.
I agree. I think 3.5 potatoes is the perfect amount. As you said, this is meager potatoes. I think this movie overall is a lot of fun. The comedy, I agree, doesn't always land. I think some of the character interactions don't always land for me as well. I think this movie relies sometimes a little bit too much on fan service, and that was kind of an issue for me. The chemistry between Peter and Frank is incredible. Spider-Man Brand New Day, it opens up July 31st from Marvel and Sony. You guys will find links to where it's playing at in your city, as well as links to all of our social media, more movie reviews like this, as well as our podcast network and our mental health resource library. So until next time, remember to keep it classy and keep it spidery.